epic poetry by Gerald Warfield. The first story ever told was told in first person. It was told around a campfire by Og, who raised both his fists into the air and exclaimed in a loud voice, "I killed a mammoth!" Og's story was very popular, especially with his girlfriend Oompa, and he was asked to repeat it often. But Og was frequently away on hunting trips and not available to tell his story, so Oompa began to tell it. Looking up at the others around the campfire, she quietly told the story in third person, and I lost my place. And it went like this. Og went out one day and killed a mammoth. Although with either telling, what the listener around the fire envisioned in their mind was more or less the same, they much preferred the first-person version. But alas, after Og's unfortunate encounter with the mama of the mammoth he killed, the only version of the story available was Oompa's, but she was often asked to tell it. There was at this time a rascal who crouched around the fire, and he noticed that people preferred the original version of the story and that they were sorry they could no longer hear it told in this manner. After thinking about it, the rascal figured out a way that the first-person version could be told again, and he invited everyone down to the dry stream bed to hear it. He quickly put on a ratty, bare skin, just like Og always wore, painted a long scar across his face, just like Og's, and sported a feather in his hair like the ones Oompa always gave him before the hunt. After everyone had gathered at the stream bed, the rascal jumped out from the bushes, raised his spear, and said, "I am Og, the greatest of all hunters, and I went out and killed a mammoth." The people were delighted and beat their hands together in appreciation. They knew, of course, that it was the rascal who told the story, but they enjoyed it nevertheless. The rascal repeated the story many times in the stream bed. It was a good location to tell a story, being very flat and wide, and the people began to refer to the place as the Broadway. After several seasons, there came a liar named Ek to the campfire who saw the success of the rascal in telling Og's story in first person, as if it was his own. He wanted to dress up like Og and tell the story too. But the liar was missing one leg and so nearsighted that no one would believe that he had killed a mammoth no matter how much he dressed up. So the liar named Ek decided he would tell the story in another way. He took up a bow and plucked the string while he recited the story in rhythm, which he called poetry. The technique worked so well that he excited people just as much as Og, who raised his hands and shouted, and Oompa, who had first elaborated on the story, and the rascal, who had sprayed the audience with spit. Picked upon his bow and recited the poem like this. Og the Great did exclamate, "I killed the monster. With consummate skill, the mammoth killed. Upon his spear he tossed her." Bubbled around to all the caves in the valley, picking his bow and picking the poetry too. And the people were always glad to hear pick poetry. In this way, Og's story passed down from generation to generation until it was heard by a man named Homer, who changed it a lot.